It may not be the best installment in the John Wick franchise, but it's still a good one. Welcome to Bite Size Bunny, my name's Tony, and today we're going to be talking about Ballerina. Ballerina is the first spin-off film in the John Wick franchise set between the events of John Wick's Chapter 3 and 4. The film follows Eve, a ballerina who is on the personal quest of revenge to try and track down the men who are responsible for killing her father. Ana de Armas is great from both a performance standpoint as well as when it comes to the action sequences. It was really enjoyable getting to watch her interact with various familiar faces that have popped up throughout the John Wick films, and I think she feels right at home in this world and with these characters. While the story is pretty generic as well as the characters' motivations, what Ana de Armas brings to this role and what she brings to this world does enough to elevate the material that it does get you invested in the events that are transpiring. She is the best part of this movie. I will say one of my favorite elements of the John Wick franchise is how they've been able to masterfully interweave this really awesome and truly fascinating world building throughout each one of the 4 films. The more they expanded upon the world, the more it felt truly massive. So with the Ballerina, I was really hoping that we would get to see a whole new side of the John Wick universe that has never really been explored before. While you kind of get that in this movie, it's done in such a way that it low-key feels like a video game story DLC. Especially with it being set between the events of the 3rd and 4th movie, because they do slip in little scenes and moments that reference various events and story beats that transpired in those films. Which can be fun at times, but it also can feel pretty limiting to the story and what they're able to do here. I also have always felt like the John Wick movies have done such a good job at having interesting, unique villains that have very distinct personalities that allow them to stand out and shine amongst the group. Sadly, the antagonist actually ends up being one of the weakest points of Ballerina. While I really liked the idea of this new faction that gets introduced in this film that's basically a cult of killers that doesn't play by the rules of the other assassins groups that are spread out throughout the world, the big bad of the group is a really one-dimensional, paint-by-numbers, generic villain of the week. This is a John Wick movie after all, so you can't talk about any of the movies in this franchise without talking about the action. And the action in Ballerina is good. It's well shot, the choreography is great, there's enough variety in the action that it never feels repetitive. Though after watching something like John Wick 4, it does feel substantially tamer than the previous installment in this series. There's nothing that never quite reaches the levels of batshit insane like the roundabout shootout in Paris or the top-down dragon breath scene. I'd say it falls somewhere in between John Wick 2 and 3 for what you should expect action-wise. It's relatively grounded and has a nice level of grit to it, but at the same time, it occasionally leans into the more fun, over-the-top side of things. Overall, Ballerina is a fun addition to the John Wick franchise. It never quite reaches the heights of those previous 4 films, but it's still a solid flick that is a fun addition to the series. I'm going to be giving Ballerina a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And what's your favorite John Wick movie? I'd love to know.